Hello, my friends. This is Tosif, starting a new live stream. Happy Thanksgiving, my friends. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. If you are tuning in, please say hello in the live chat window. I'm going to also, okay, I'm just checking the screen on my end. All right, my friends, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you had great food, and I hope you spent excellent time with family and friends. I was not able to do a live stream yesterday. Of course, I missed you all, but I'm very happy to be back. I wanted to do a Thanksgiving live stream, okay? Wanted to do it yesterday evening, but couldn't manage time. I did a lot of cooking, and my mother and we had a great Thanksgiving dinner. And I hope wherever you are, you also had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Feel free to share your Thanksgiving experience in the live chat, who you spent time with. Were you with family, friends? Did you have to travel anywhere for Thanksgiving, or just did you have dinner at home? Did you have dinner somewhere else? Please write your experience in the live chat. Good to see you all. Give me a second because I'm going to be writing a question here. Give me a second. All right. Okay. I have a poll question that you can answer. So, my friends, there's a lot to be thankful for. Life is never perfect. No one has ever said, oh, life's perfect. Life's not perfect. When we observe from our human standpoint, we know that life's not perfect. But if you accept the fact that God gave you the life that you have, then you will realize that life is actually perfect because it is exactly as God intended it to be. This is it. This is our destiny. This is what we received from God. So accept it and do the best that you can with the opportunity that God has provided. So that's what I believe. And I'm grateful. I'm thankful for the life that I have. I'm very thankful for the blessings that I have received from God. I'm very, very thankful. So that's my Thanksgiving message, my friends. Now, let's continue because there's a lot to discuss regarding the current political situation. Okay. Black Friday. We could be talking about shopping. We could be talking about so many other things. But here we are to talk about the current political situation, because whatever happens in politics, whatever the outcomes of elections are, that'll all have an impact on our lives, okay? We are better off today because Donald J. Trump won in 2024, okay? We suffered for 4 years because Biden was in the White House. Now, thank God that we have Donald J. Trump in the White House, and so things are getting better. And so we need to continue the conversation about social and political issues, domestic and international, because whatever is happening in the country and around the world will affect our lives. Now, I know that we keep talking about 2026, which is when the midterm election is, which is coming up, 2026. 2026, the year is coming up very soon. Okay, we got just over a month left before we get to 2026. But more importantly, the months leading up to the November election, from December from January to November, those months are going to be extremely important. Okay. And I know that everyone seems to be focusing on that. Everyone seems to be focusing on November 2026, while also keeping in mind that beyond 2026, we're going to have 2028, which is the next presidential year. But as we think about 2028, as we talk about 2026, we also have to keep in mind what's in front of us. We cannot overlook the election that's coming up next week. That's right. Next week, I said that to you just now. Next week, there is an election coming up. Did you know that? Who knows about the election that's coming up next week? That is coming up on Tuesday, December the 2nd of 2025. Anyone? You may be asking, Tausif, hold on a second. What do you mean when you say there's an election coming up next week? This is December that you're talking about. December 2nd, 2025. December 2nd, 2025. There's not supposed to be any election in December. Are you talking about an election after Thanksgiving? What do you mean exactly, Tausif? My friends, yes, there is an election coming up. It's a special election next week. And so you may be wondering, how did we not know? What is going on? Who's on the ballot? What race is this? Is this a state or federal election? What's going on, Tausif? My friends, that's a lot of questions that I know you have on your mind right now. And I'm going to answer each and every question. I just want you to stay here with me. Stay here with me. Don't leave, and make sure that you're subscribing and liking the video. My friends, all fair questions. What is this special election? Who's on the ballot? What race is this? Is this state, federal? What's going on? Fair questions. Now, this is a race that unfortunately not many people know about, because it is not a national election. But it is for a federal office. If that makes any difference in how you think about it, let me tell you, it is for a federal office. It is a congressional race, a House race. A new member of Congress will be elected next week. And how many people really know about this? The outcome of this race, because it's a House race, the outcome of this race will have national implications. We're talking about a House race. And in case you're asking, Tausif, what state is this going to be in? Can anyone make a guess? Richard Miller knows what I'm talking about. Richard knows. It's in Tennessee. That's right. I see all my friends are joining. Steven's here from Illinois. We got Frank, and we got others. We got Richard. Thank you, my friends, for joining this conversation. We're talking about a House race in Tennessee. That's right. An election in Tennessee. Who's here from Tennessee? If you're here from Tennessee, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to find out what you are thinking about this upcoming election next week. If you are in the 7th Congressional District of Tennessee, which is where this election is going to be held, I want to hear from you. Have you made up your mind who you're going to vote for? Do you know who the candidates are? Do you know what the candidates stand for? I want to hear your thoughts. Victoria is here. Victoria, good to see you. If you are from Tennessee If you are from the 7th Congressional District of Tennessee, I want to hear your thoughts, my friends, about the special election. Congressman Mark Green resigned from this congressional district this year. And as soon as Congressman Mark Green resigned, there was a vacancy. And the special election is going to be taking place to fill this vacancy. The election date is December 2nd, 2025, Tuesday, which is coming up in a few days. Tuesday. Here we are. This is a Friday. Tomorrow is a Saturday, Small Business Saturday, by the way. So yesterday was Thanksgiving. Today is Black Friday. Tomorrow is Small Business Saturday. Then we're talking about Sunday. We're talking about Monday. And then Tuesday is when this election is. The main problem with this special election is that not many people know about this. Not many people know about this. And whenever few people know about a special election, you know what that does? It gives advantage to the Democrats. That's right. My friends, I'm not here to share any good news with you, any uplifting news. As much as I would like to do that, I'm not here to tell you, oh, you know what? I got a great news to share with you. No, I'm doing this live stream because I am concerned about this special election in Tennessee. Not many people know about this. You go talk to people and you say, oh, did you know that there's a special election in Tennessee next week? It's in the 7th Congressional District. People are likely to say, oh no, we thought the election's done. November was when the election was. The next election is in 2026. What are you talking about? What is this election? That's right. That's how a lot of people are going to be reacting. And that is the problem. Whenever the voters don't know that there's an election coming up, you know what? It gives advantage to the Democrats. The Democrats have very good off-year campaign skills. And we see that in the state of Wisconsin a lot. In Wisconsin, we have what's called spring elections, okay? We had one earlier this year in the spring. There was a statewide race for Wisconsin Supreme Court to elect a justice for the Wisconsin Supreme Court. There was a statewide race in Wisconsin earlier this spring, and we lost that. The conservative candidate, the Republican-backed candidate, lost because it's an off-year election. Just a few months ago, before the spring election in November 2024, Wisconsin delivered a massive victory to Donald J. Trump. And then a few months later, in another statewide race, the conservative-backed candidate, the Republican-backed candidate, lost. It's mind-boggling how that can be. If everyone who voted for Donald J. Trump in November 2024, everyone in Wisconsin who voted for Trump, if they would come out and vote for this conservative candidate for Wisconsin Supreme Court, then victory would have been ours. But that did not happen because the Democrats, they have certain advantage whenever there's an election in an off year, or whenever there's some kind of a special election that does not fall in the regular schedule. And that's a reality that we have to acknowledge. In Wisconsin, spring is when the local elections are held. So like city council, county board, town board, etc. These candidates, these elected officials are elected in spring. But also, as I mentioned, statewide Supreme Court races take place in the spring, and sometimes these spring elections for statewide Supreme Court races take place in odd-numbered years, which is 2025, which is, just what I mentioned to you, that we lost the 2025 Wisconsin Supreme Court race. And so it's just the spring elections, and especially the ones in odd-numbered years, makes it very difficult for the Republicans to mobilize their voters. And the Democrats, they always gain an advantage in these elections. For example, in April 2025, as I mentioned, we lost the Supreme Court race. It was Liberal candidate Susan Crawford who defeated the conservative candidate Brad Schimmel for Wisconsin Supreme Court. In April of 2023, same thing, spring election, in an odd-numbered year, Liberal Supreme Court candidate Janet Protasevich defeated the conservative candidate Danielle Kelly. In April 2020, which was not an off year, but it was a spring election, Liberal candidate Jill Karofsky defeated the conservative candidate. In April of 2018, Liberal candidate Rebecca Dallett defeated conservative candidate Michael Skrenak. All of these are Supreme Court races in Wisconsin. Now, it was in April 2019 that we had a Supreme Court race victory. That's when the conservative candidate won against the Liberal candidate. But you look at most of the races, most of the past statewide Supreme Court races in Wisconsin, the conservative candidates lost most of these races. Now, I understand you may be saying, Tausif, you started talking about Tennessee. Now you jumped to talking about Wisconsin. What's your plan? What are you doing? My friends, what I'm trying to explain to you is the fact that whenever there's a special election in an off year, whenever there's a special election or an election that does not align with the regular even-numbered election year, then the Democrats have an advantage. And we see that in Wisconsin. Because most people pay attention to the presidential cycle. Most people pay attention to big midterm elections, but not these off-year elections. Anyway, in Tennessee, it's a very, very red district where this special election is going to be taking place. Very, very red Republican district. It is what you may call Trump territory. That's right. Reportedly in 2024, Donald Trump carried this district by 22 percentage points, the 7th Congressional District of Tennessee. Donald Trump won that by 22 percentage points. That is a tremendous victory. So now your question is going to be, Tausif, why in the world are you worried about this? If you're saying that it's a red district, Donald Trump carried this by 22 percentage points just last year, it's a Republican heavy district, so why are you worried? Why do you look like you're panicking? We're going to win this. Don't worry about it, Tausif. My friends, let me tell you. As I said once again, during off-year elections, the Democrats show better performance. They have improved ground game during off-year elections. And I'll tell you why I am worried. I'll share with you some polling data. I'll share with you some polling data which will explain to you why I am worried, okay? So first, let me tell you, who are the people running in this district? Can anyone give me the names of the candidates? Who's running from the Republican side? Who's running from the Democrat side? Tell me. Write the names of the candidates in the live chat. Let's see if you have been paying attention. I'm going to give you 30 seconds, maybe half a minute. Go ahead, my friends. I see a lot of people in the live chat. Go ahead. Go ahead, my friends. Giving you a few more seconds. Stay here with me. Let's see. All right, I'm going to share with you the names. On the Republican side, it's candidate Matt Van Epps. On the Democrat side, it's Afton Bain. That's right. Matt Van Epps, the Republican candidate, Afton Bain, the Democrat candidate. And here's the shocking part that I'm going to share with you now. So put on your seat belts, okay? If you're holding a glass of water or whatever, set it on the table because I'm going to share with you something very, very shocking. I don't want you to drop your glass of water or your mug of coffee or whatever. Get ready for this. Once again, I told you I'm not here to share with you uplifting news because I am concerned about Tennessee 7. According to the latest Emerson poll, Republican candidate Matt Van Epps is at 49%, and Democrat candidate Afton Bain is at 47%. Republican candidate at 49%, Democrat candidate at 47% for Tennessee's 7th Congressional District. Now, at the surface, it may look good for the Republican candidate. You may be saying, oh, that's good. The Republican candidate is ahead at 49. The Democrat candidate is 47. This is what it looks like on the surface, my friends, but you have to look beyond the obvious. You have to look at the fact that this is a very, very heavily red Republican district. So how come in such a red district, the Republican candidate only has a 2 percentage point lead, according to this poll? A district that Donald Trump carried by 22 percentage points. 22. How come the Republican candidate for Congress in this special election only has a 2 percentage point lead in the poll? I don't understand this, but I will tell you this is very, very frustrating. Now, you may say, Tausif, hold on a second, just relax. Take a deep breath, because you cannot trust the polls. The polls will say whatever the polls will say. The election day is what matters. My friends, trust me. I've looked at this closely, and there are reasons for concern. There are reasons for concern, okay? I don't know how a Democrat candidate can be so close to a Republican candidate in that poll, in a district like this, in a district that is so heavily red. What does that mean? Does that mean that it's in spite of having tremendous advantage in that district that the Republican voters don't know about this election? They're not paying attention? Does it mean that the Republicans have not done a good job of spreading the word that, hey, there's an election coming up, you got to go vote? Is it that the Democrats are doing better outreach in the state? Is it that the Democrats have mobilized all their resources and all their volunteers and strategists and advisors to try to gain an advantage in this district to win this special election? Are the Democrats working harder than the Republicans when it comes to this congressional district for this special election? I am concerned. I am not happy when I see that the Emerson College poll only shows a 2 percentage point lead. My friends, I want to hear from you. Do you agree with me that we have reasons to be concerned? Yes, we are ahead in the poll. The Republican candidate is ahead by only 2 percentage points. That is unacceptable. It should be by 10 or 15 percentage points. That would make me feel good. If Trump can carry this district by 22 points, then at least the congressional candidate in the special election, the Republican candidate, should have a 10 or a 15 percentage point lead. Do you agree with me? Let me know in the live chat. I want to hear from you. Go ahead, my friends. Go ahead. If we lose this House seat, do you understand what the consequences would be? Do you understand that? If we lose this House seat, if the Republicans lose this special election, do you understand what the consequences would be? Currently, there are 219 Republicans in the House. The Democrats have 213 seats. It's a slim margin that the Republicans have. So we cannot afford to lose this very red district. This is the 7th Congressional District of Tennessee. In case you're wondering where this district is located, it's located in central and western Tennessee, and the district also includes parts of Nashville. Anyone from Nashville watching this live stream, are you from Nashville? Or are you from central Tennessee, western Tennessee, or anywhere in Tennessee? Go ahead, my friends. Let me know in the live chat, please. We're going to be talking about the candidates. Let's talk about the candidates. Who is Matt Van Epps? He's a West Point graduate, the Republican candidate. West Point graduate, according to the biography on his website. He's a veteran pilot, and he did receive President Donald J. Trump's endorsement. That's right. President Trump called Matt Van Epps an America First patriot. And that is the Republican candidate for Tennessee's 7th Congressional District. Now, Afton Bain, I'm guessing that's how it's pronounced. In case I'm mispronouncing the name, I think it's Afton. Is it Afton? Can anyone tell me if I'm mispronouncing it or pronouncing it correctly? I think it's Afton. Afton Bain is a social worker. She identifies herself as a community organizer, okay? That's who's on the ballot from the Democrat side. She's a community organizer. I was reading her biography on her website, and she serves in the Tennessee state legislature. And you know what? Afton Bain is an opponent of the One Big Beautiful Bill. The One Big Beautiful Bill that is helping the United States of America. The One Big Beautiful Bill, Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, that is helping our country. Afton Bain opposes that One Big Beautiful Bill. She called this bill a giveaway to the wealthy. Really? My friends, let me tell you, that is a complete lie. That is absolutely false. What Afton Bain is saying, she's saying that this is the one big beautiful bill is a giveaway to the wealthy. That is absolutely false. The one big beautiful bill helps millions of Americans. I mean, I'm just going to give you one example, because I can give you examples after examples after examples after examples, but then we'll be here for a few hours discussing the details of the one big beautiful bill. So we're not going to do that yet, because our focus is on the 7th congressional district race for the special election. So I'm going to give you one example. The no tax on tips, the no tax on overtime in the one big beautiful bill. Do you think that's a giveaway to the wealthy? Do you think no tax on tips is a giveaway to the wealthy? Do you think that no tax on overtime is a giveaway to the wealthy? Who earns tips? Who earns overtime? Usually those who are in the middle class, those who are in the working class. They are the ones who depend on tips. They are the ones who are working overtime. People from the middle class, people from the working class. Not the rich billionaires. The billionaires are not earning tips. They're not earning overtime. So how can Democrat Afton Bain call this one big beautiful bill a transfer of wealth from the working people to the rich? That is a complete lie. My friends, do you agree with my viewpoints, whatever I'm saying so far? Do you agree with me, my friends? If you do, please let me know in the live chat. I want to hear from you, my friends. I want to hear from you. As you know, I'm always interested to see what your comments are. I'm always interested to hear your viewpoints. Go ahead. Let me know. Let me know, my friends. Hummingbird agrees with me. Stephen agrees with me. Thank you, my friends. Stephen saying TTTT, which means Tausif tells the truth. Jason saying you are right. Thank you, Jason. Thank you so very much. It is common sense. It is common sense. The one big beautiful bill is helping the middle class. The one big beautiful bill is helping the working class Americans. Thank you, my friends. Justin, thank you. Marjorie is your Marjorie from Canada. Marjorie, good to see you. Our friend Marjorie from Canada just joined. Thank you. All right. Afton Bain spreading lies about the one big beautiful bill. Afton running for the 7th congressional district of Tennessee, spreading lies. Democrat candidate spreading lies. She calls herself a community organizer. She's spreading lies about the one big beautiful bill. Left-wing activist spreading lies, running for Congress. The one big beautiful bill. The truth about this legislation is it is helping the American people. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. And there are many, many great things in that legislation, the one big beautiful bill. My friends, now the people of Tennessee, the people of the 7th congressional district of Tennessee will have to decide what they want to do. Are they going to elect an America First candidate? Or will they elect a left-wing activist? Will they elect America First Matt Van Epps? Or will they elect left-wing activist Afton Bain? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? I am concerned, I'll tell you that. I am concerned. It is always my goal to share with you the truth on this channel. That's what I try to do always. I try to provide you with accurate information. When great things are happening, I share that with you. When I feel confident about winning, I share that with you. But when I get concerned, I share that with you as well. And I will tell you that although the poll is showing that the Republican candidate Matt Van Epps is going to win, he is likely to win, but I am very, very concerned about the fact that the Emerson poll is showing that Matt Van Epps only has a 2 percentage point lead. The Republicans need better ground game for special elections. When it's an off-year election, when it's an election that does not fall in the regular November schedule, the Republicans need better ground game. They need better outreach. They need to invest more resources into reaching the voters and making them aware of the special elections and the off-year elections. I am not happy seeing that Matt Van Epps only has a 2 percentage point lead. As I said, it should be 10 percentage point, 15 percentage point lead. Because this is Trump territory. So let this be a wake-up call for the Tennessee Republicans. I love Tennessee. I love Nashville. But I'm sad that the race is so close for this special election. I'm concerned. I'm concerned. I'm going to be watching very closely what happens on Tuesday. I hope the Republican candidate wins because we cannot afford to lose a House seat. We cannot afford to lose a House seat. We don't have a 15-seat margin. We don't have a 20-seat margin. If we had a 20-seat margin in the House, if the Republicans had 20 extra seats, I would not be so worried. I would not be so worried. But we only have 219 seats right now in the House. That gives us a very, very narrow margin, and so we cannot afford to lose that seat, my friends. Share with me your thoughts. Share with me your thoughts. Are you concerned as I am? Go ahead, my friends. And also, those who are watching this, if you have not subscribed, I would encourage you to please subscribe. Okay? If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. Please do so. Okay? Marjorie is saying, I have heard many people talk about what will happen if the GOP loses the House. If the GOP loses the House, I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, the America First agenda will not be able to move forward. Because the Democrats are going to create barriers at each and every step. They are going to try their best to stop the America First agenda. They are not going to allow us to make America great again. That's what's going to happen. That's what the Democrats will do. The Democrats, they know how to create barriers. That's what they'll do. They'll slow us down. They'll slow down the Trump agenda, the people's agenda, the American agenda. We want to put America first. The Democrats will prevent us from doing that if they win the House. So what's going to happen this Tuesday? I do not know. I have no way of knowing. I just don't know. I just don't know. Well, I'm happy to see that in the poll that I am conducting, the question is, who do you think will win the special election in Tennessee? 56% of the people said Matt Van Epps and 44% said Afton Bain. So that gives me hope. But my friends, a lot of the folks who are answering the poll question here, they are not the voters in the 7th Congressional District of Tennessee. That's the concern. That's the concern. So let me ask once again, is there anyone here who lives in the 7th Congressional District of Tennessee? You're a voter in that district. Anyone here? Anyone here? All right. My friends, I'm going to wrap up this live stream, but there's going to be a lot more to talk about. And we'll see what happens on Tuesday. I hope the Republican candidate wins and wins by a large margin. I hope that this poll ends up being wrong by a lot. I mean, the poll is showing that the Republican's going to win, so I like that. But the margin is too small. I hope the Republican candidate wins in Tennessee by a huge margin. Okay? And my friends, please do one thing. Spread this video. Share this video with your friends, family members, and your neighbors. If you have friends or family in Tennessee, share this with them on a priority basis, okay? All right. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate you all tuning in for this live stream. I'm going to be doing more live stream and more videos, so do not go anywhere. Please subscribe and stay connected with me. I would appreciate that very, very much. And let's hope for the best. So with that, thank you so very much, my friends. I'm going to be back again with more videos and more live. Stay connected and subscribe if you have not done so already. Thank you. I'll be back again very soon.